So I was editing this video that you're about to see and realized I was being disproportionately snarky. I'm not exactly sure why. I thought I was having a good day, but like you'll be able to tell pretty much from the minute I walked in the door that I was having an issue at this place. And as you'll go through it, I even kind of have an internal dialogue with myself about whether it's even going to survive as a video to be posted. I ended up going to another location afterwards, and I refer to things in that video that I felt that I couldn't post it by itself without posting the first part. So I am posting the whole thing. The first part is relatively short because, well, I hated the place. But there are a couple individual parts within it that I think are worth interest. But I am hiding the location where I did it so that I don't want to offend anyone that is there. It turns out I know somebody who has a booth there. I mean no disrespect, and I meant to give no offense. It just wasn't my thing, and it kind of was coming across in some of the videos. So I tried to edit out some of it, but we're just going to keep it simple. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a precursor of what you're about to watch, and hope you enjoy it, and really hope you're not associated with that location and you can figure out where I am.
Well, if you got $1, won't just lousy down. Know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
Okay, trying something new. I'm going to start off by saying I'm a little confused. I'm surrounded by landscaping equipment and buildings and mud and all kinds of stuff, but behind me evidently is a home decor center with multiple vendors including antiques. So it was recommended. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see how it goes. Okay, signs like this drive me absolutely crazy. First, if you're in a relationship, which I realize these are supposed to be jokes, but if you're in a relationship that this sign is even remotely relevant, get out of that relationship right now. And if you're a guy that has an issue with this kind of stuff, get out of that relationship right now. These are disgusting and I hate seeing them. So admittedly, the sign that greeted me when I walked in the door put me in a bad mood. I've now covered most of the upper level of this establishment looking for antiques, and although this is mixed, I feel I should at least give this vendor some due in the sense that there are actual antiques mixed in with the reproduction and decor items. You know, admittedly, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, this antique mall, vintage mall, decor mall has a mix. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing is familiar from being at the Rustic Fox. Just wish I found a little bit more true vintage. I give credit, a couple of pieces I found. Not getting the piece of stoneware, but, you know, she does have some vintage stoneware as well. Nothing we're going to pick up either for myself or for resale, but if you look hard enough, you can find vintage even in locales that are not overflowing with them. So this tiny little hallway enters into a mystery. You've got some really nice wood pieces, you know, being made and offered there. Nothing wrong with that. And then you end up with this like open space. There's a barn door on a track that I think, if I remember correctly, that was the room for the vendors. There's another door for it. And literally sitting in front of it are two lone primitive items. And I think I want to meet this vendor. So it's vendor number 300. I have no idea who that is because there's no other tags around here marked 300. But, you know, just check out this cool piece. I had to look at the tag to know what it is. It is a soldering box. Zoom in there. A vintage soldering box. Booth 300. $35 for a fairly large piece of pretty serious tools here. So you've got these, I'm assuming these were the soldering irons, so you'd set the fire at the base of this box, leave the irons in there, and then when you pull them out, they'd be red hot and be able to, you know, solder whatever you need to solder. And then this one, again, had to read the tag because I did not know what it was. I initially thought, was it somehow an old fire hose, nozzle or something. Has some stuff on the front. And again, had to read the tag. It is vintage jack. So there used to be a pair of them. They were selling them $30 each, or two for $50. The other one I do not find. This thing, so you need to use a wood dowel to be able to turn it. This thing has to weigh at least 30 pounds. You can see the jack, the twist part there in the middle. This is just a cool piece of vintage industrial equipment. I doubt anyone would want to use it as a jack, but I don't know if you could turn it into a lamp. I don't know what you could do with it. Make a great doorstop because you can barely move it. A very cool piece and a very nice surprise based on what I've seen so far. So pretty much out of the blue, came across the rest of number 300. So some reason his or her other two items are separated upstairs. So we've got this booth, some great vintage. But the piece that's actually caught my attention is this coat rack made out of hammerheads. So don't know the age to it. Looks like it does have some age, both the wood and the hammers, but I've never seen or thought to make a coat rack out of hammerheads like that. So absolutely cool design, but some great vintage pieces. Carriage lantern, bunch of scales, Hamilton Beach mixer, old baseball trophies, an old Viewmaster from 1955. This is the stuff that I was hoping to find coming into this place, so it's nice to find one booth where it's all concentrated. So legit vintage seems to be so rare in this place. I figure it's worth pointing out at least one more spot where I found some, because there's this great collection of Vaseline glass, and thanks to my little blue light given to me by Suzanne at number 7 Vintage, it glows. So I've got this little carry along blue light that I can usually test. Now they know what it is, so it's all been marked accordingly and priced accordingly, so it does glow, so you can show us your glow. But some pieces that I hadn't seen before, the collie is kind of cute. That's $25. Candy dishes. The train is really cool too. I've never seen the train either. So $25 for the train, both the train and the coal car. So kind of cool pieces and some other vintage mixed in. So a nice selection at this booth. Okay, utter waste of my time. It's not necessarily the store's fault. I just had heard it had some antiques, and technically it does. But as many stores are trying to reinvent themselves, particularly in this time of everybody being scared to shop and whatever, it has become more of a decor store where multiple booths are selling the exact same item. It was like walking through a Hobby Lobby with a couple little surprises thrown in. So not even sure I'm going to post this video. If I do post it, I'm probably not going to name the location. So I guess I'll have to edit out bleep out the name of the store that I mention it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but this was not my speed. There was some legit vintage. I did like what they had, and had them all been more filled with more of that, or even just had one room where all of that was concentrated, I think that would have been a better experience. But, I'm not the typical shopper, as that first sign that I'm still annoyed by maybe is trying to indicate. So whatever. I wasn't in there for very long. This video, if I post, is going to be really short. But, maybe I've got time to go someplace else. We'll see what I end up doing today. A little bit of a disappointment, but I'm glad I tried it out because I'd heard some good things about it. And it's good if you're looking for expensive versions of what Hobby Lobby has to offer. Okay. I did not want to head straight home after having a bad shopping experience and literally walking out with nothing. So I did a quick little map search, Google search, and did a little bit of a more circuitous route home, and I'm trying something new. So this is the Geneva Antiques Market. Maybe it's the Geneva Antiques Mall. I don't know. I'm in downtown Geneva, Illinois, which is not that far from where I live and where I used to live, but it's, you know, parking is difficult. It's a very cute, quaint downtown. It's very popular. I'm not sure I'll be able to do a lot of recording inside the mall, but parking is difficult. So I'm a couple blocks away from it right now. But hopefully that is still, it's going to give me something good to shop with. So wish me luck. So it is the Geneva Antique Market, and right off the bat, a little more encouraging. Some legit vintage, some Lutz houses, or no, Putz houses. I'm not sure why they're still up in March, is on Monday. But hey, that's okay. It's at least a sign of true vintage. So this is a nice display right before you go into the mall. Kind of showcases some of the local items. They host Swedish days every year, so you find a lot of the Swedish decor. There's a lot of Swedish heritage in this area. Chicago Bank, Belvedere Casket Company, which is about an hour away, but still somewhat local. The Chicago World's Fair. Not sure what the corkscrew's for, but Aurora, that's down my way. Maywood's closer to the city. So it's kind of nice showing some local items that might be popular to people from the area. Yes, all vintage. Very nice to see. And one piece I thought I wanted to showcase because I've never seen it before. I've never seen a butter canister. It has the regular lid on top, so it's not a butter bell or anything like that. And it's got the flat bottom, so I didn't know people stored butter in canisters like that. Kind of a cool piece, definitely showing its age. $10, you know, kind of a cool decorative piece, but more interesting to me just in the sense like, hey, didn't know people did that. An interesting piece tucked in here in the corner. Seemed somewhat nondescript, but I was curious what it was, and always grateful for vendors who take the time to fill out the tags, and learned many things. One, I've never heard of a bain-marie. I guess it's French. I don't know how to pronounce that. This one happens to be tin, but what I found fascinating, so listen up, Nate, these are wedgwood. So it's a double boiler with 4 different sizes. If I can zoom in a little bit here, you can see it's got the stamp for wedgwood in the actual porcelain. So it's a complete set. Curious it doesn't have a price tag on it. I'm assuming it's not cheap. But I've never seen anything like it before, and not sure exactly if this would be a home piece or a restaurant piece, but a very cool piece with wedgwood to boot. So one of the things you'll see on many of the videos when I do vintage and antique stores like this is Hager. So this is a Royal Hager fire plug cookies fire hydrant cookie jar. And just to give you a scope of size, it's a big one. You can hold a lot of cookies in there. That's my size of cookie jar. It does have the Royal Hager stamp on it. Hopefully you can see that because I don't want to risk lifting it with one hand. So it is marked. And I don't know, $24 to me seems like a good price for a piece of Royal Hager, although it is a fairly large size and a very distinct decor, so maybe not for everybody, but definitely a cool piece that I have not seen even in the land of Hager. Unfortunately, I can't get them out because they're in a case on my way out of the store. I don't really want to bother anybody, but saw a couple typewriter ribbon tins. So these are for you, Katie. Got one of the taller ones, kind of a rectangular shape, but got the height on it. And then the hockey puck style Old Town typewriter ribbon. Thought that was kind of a cool image on the front of it. And then I'm going to assume that that is a typewriter ribbon tin as well, even though it doesn't say anything on the top. If you listen to the deep dive that Katie did with me, a lot of the companies started creating them to look decorative because people were keeping them after they took the ribbon out. So they were all $10 to $14, so pretty much probably all their money. Just kind of thought they were cool and something to showcase on my way out the door. All right, far more productive. Didn't actually end up buying anything, but at least I got a couple more things for the video. And had a better experience and I did enjoy myself, even when I walk away empty-handed. So hope you enjoyed the video, whatever it ends up whatever it ends up looking like. But I appreciate you spending your time with me and putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. Bye-bye.
Well, show me a sign if you're wishing me to stay. Otherwise, I say goodbye, finish out the day. And that sunrise in the morning and you got nothing to say. Oh, that's when I'll be headed on my